Am I the idiot for asking my parents for their entire estate if they want me to be my sister's guardian? I, 23, female, have been told my entire life that if anything happens to my parents, I will be my sister's guardian. She is 33 and has some disabilities. She is currently living in a group home. The government pays for a good portion of the cost, but not all. My parents have made sure that they have accessed every resource available for her to make sure she has as good a life as she can. We were visiting her last weekend when they brought it up again. They are both reasonably healthy, but they both had health scares in the last couple of years. They once again said that I would be her guardian. I have been giving this a fair bit of thought. I have two older brothers. They are both married and established in their careers. They would be better choices than I am. I want to go see the world. I'm lucky enough that my job can be done from anywhere that I can access the internet. When we went to have a short dinner, I brought it up and said that I had 3 ideas. 1. They made all 3 of us her guardians so we could split the responsibilities and duties. 2. They leave their entire estate to my sister in a trust that will oversee her care. 3. They leave me their entire estate with a proviso that I become her sole guardian and take full responsibility. Minus sentimental stuff for the rest of my family, obviously. I thought that was fair since it's not like they are rich and their estate will mostly consist of their house and the insurance policies they took out when they realized the long-term cost of care for my sister. They said that I'm trying to shirk my responsibility to my sister and that I'm greedy for trying to get everything. I had one last suggestion and they really hated it. I said that they were welcome to cut me completely out of their will, but that had to include guardianship of my sister. They could leave everything to her and my brothers, but that meant I would be completely free of responsibility for her care. My dad got really angry and my mom was crying when I left. My brothers both called me to say I was being an idiot springing this on my parents, and that I was being greedy trying to keep them and their families from getting anything when our parents pass away. I asked both of them if they wanted 100% responsibility for our sister in return for the entire estate. I volunteered to sign away everything to them. Neither one took me up on the offer. Not the idiot. If your brothers think it's unfair for you to receive everything, they should be jumping at the opportunity to get everything. That's the sign of a really good deal, if someone would take it from you. Your parents are kind of ass for dumping all of this on a young woman. Not that you couldn't handle it, just that it's not fair when there are other family members that could help. You sound pretty grounded though, and willing to advocate for yourself. I hope you have a great life. Good luck with this situation. Not the idiot. You came up with very reasonable options, and they are trying to put this on you, and using emotional blackmail to make you feel responsible. Why are your brothers not considered equally to take on this responsibility? Maybe there is some sexism to this too, where the woman takes care of the disabled sister. Do not let them put this on you. Should she split the money? Let me know in the comments. Now, am I the idiot for making my stepmom look crazy so I can avoid babysitting her kids? I, female 16, live with my dad. My mom passed away in a bad accident a couple of years ago. My dad met Josie in a grief group or something like that, and they got married last year. Josie has 2 children, an 8-year-old boy and a 6-year-old, and I hate living with them to be honest. Male 8 has really bad ADHD and is constantly accidentally breaking things, making messes, and has meltdowns over the smallest things. Male 6 is kind of similar but not quite as bad. They both get into my room and take things or break them. I babysat them once when our parents were dating, and I'd rather jump off a building than ever have to watch them again, I swear to God. Josie offered to pay me when they were dating, but I said no. Now that we all live together, she's been trying to make me deal with them more and more, usually while my dad's not home. My dad thinks I should bond with them more, but he said I don't have to babysit. Josie keeps trying to pull the just watch them for an hour while I go to the store, or loading me up with chores since I'm not watching the kids. I have chores that I do already, so it's not like I'm doing nothing. I just want some time to myself on the weekend. My dad doesn't see it happen, so he thinks I'm exaggerating. I have a smaller bedroom in the house we moved into, but I found out when I was putting stuff away that it has a hatch into it like a side attic. Nobody else knows about it. I've started keeping stuff I don't want anyone else to get in there, and it's big enough that I can spread out a blanket and some pillows and read or work on my laptop in peace. I had the idea to just go in there and avoid Josie when my dad's not home, and it worked. She called for me and came looking for me but couldn't find me. My dad texted me and asked where I was, and I told him in my room and dropped my phone location for him to see. Josie still couldn't find me, but I slipped out before my dad came home and was laying on my bed with a book when he got there. Josie got mad asking where I've been, and I said in my room. My dad showed her the location I sent when she said I was lying and snuck out. Now they're arguing because Josie insists I wasn't in the house and my dad thinks she's lying and taking it out on me because I wouldn't babysit. I do feel a little bad now because I'm making Josie look kinda nuts, but I also don't want to babysit or spend my entire Saturday doing chores. Am I the idiot? Edit. because questions in the comments. I'm not allowed to have a lock on my door and got in trouble for blocking it to keep the kids out. Josie flat out lies to my dad when I refuse to do what she wants while he's not there, and until now he believes her, and I've gotten grounded for being disrespectful to her, even though the only thing Indid said was no. I've tried having a conversation with both my dad and Josie together, and my dad separately, and she denies everything, and my dad thinks it's just because I don't like the idea of the stepfamily. Nobody listens to me. I think what I'm going to do, since now he thinks she's lying and is wondering if she actually has been punishing me for not watching her kids, is keep my stuff hidden in the attic and not go stay in there for a while like some people suggested. I'm going to try and record Josie, but I think I might talk to my coach at school too, because she's been noticing that I'm losing weight and gassing out too fast at practice, and asked if everything is off the other day. Maybe she can talk to my dad about it, since the stress is affecting my training, or figure out who to get involved with. Not the idiot. If you told anyone about your hiding spot, you'd have no way to get away from Josie, since she's been emotionally manipulating you and punishing you with extra chores behind your father's back, and then lying about her actions to your father. She kinda deserves it. You should not be put in the position of watching Josie's kids. You are not their parent, she is. She should not be piling additional chores on you to punish you for not relieving her of her parental responsibilities. Not the idiot. I got tricked into babysitting an 8-year-old kid with this type of ADHD for spring break when I was 15. When I was telling his mom he peed himself during a rage tantrum, she got defensive and said, "Well, he has ADHD," and cried. No teenager is equipped to deal with these shenanigans. This is a job for professionals. Is she taking advantage of her? Let me know in the comments. Now, am I the idiot for not canceling my plans after my boyfriend learned about his diagnosis? I, female 25, work in event planning, so I always get invites or tickets to go to high-end events. There was a huge event coming up that I was really excited to go to. I asked my boyfriend, 27, 3 days before the event to accompany me, and he said yes. So originally the plan was my boyfriend, my stepsister, and myself. On the day of the event, he said he had a doctor's appointment, so he isn't sure if he can still attend. I said no problem and waited for him to return home. A couple hours later he texted me and said he has something to tell me. I got worried and called him immediately. I asked if everything was okay, and he said he was diagnosed with anemia, so he'll have to take supplements. I expressed how sorry I was and spoke to him for about 2 hours, gave him pep talks, told him I'm here if he needs me, reassured him that I will always love him, and etc. I then asked if he would still like to attend the event with me to take his mind off of things, to which he responded that he doesn't like the artists performing, so he'd rather go to another event. I said no problem, I will go with my stepsister alone. He got upset and hung up. I called him back, but he started an argument about how I'm selfish for going out while he's going through something. I told him that I already made the plans with my stepsister, and I can't back out now as she's depending on me. I also don't drink, so I would have been the sober driver, and if I didn't go, she couldn't. I told him that this event is the only event my sister really wanted to attend, and I promised her that I would take her months prior. I even told him I'll see him the next day, and he said be safe and hung up. I got to the event around 11 and spent the entire event alone, just sitting down and watching the show by myself, having food and drinks. When I returned home around 2 a.m., I called him, and he was awake playing video games. His first words were, "Look who cares about me again." I said, "I'm too tired for this." And he responded by saying that of course I'm tired. I went out without him knowing he's upset, but I love partying and meeting new people so much that I didn't think to stay with him on the phone. I told him he's being ridiculous, and I would have stayed if it were just us who planned to go. He said my priorities are off, and I'm an ignorant idiot. Keep in mind, I don't attend parties unless it's with my family, and I only attend events a few times a year. So am I the idiot for not staying on the phone with him and attending the event instead? You're the idiot for leaving him alone and partying when he was recently diagnosed with anemia. How could you leave a 27-year-old baby alone to take supplements? Don't you know babies easily choke on small things? Not the idiot. Not to downplay anything, but it's anemia. I've lived with anemia for 40 years. My son has a severe form of anemia, gets supplements and transfusions. It's not cancel plans. Maybe because I live with it, I don't see it as a big deal. Is he overreacting? Let me know in the comments. Now, am I the idiot for screaming at my pregnant fiancé for not helping me find my dog who had run off? My fiancée, female 28, is currently 5 months pregnant and has been both fatigued and nauseous lately. I get why she didn't want to help me look for the dog, but I can't get over the lack of empathy and bordering selfish behavior of this either. My dog, 6-year-old healer/corgi mix, runs off at least once a week. Usually, my fiancé will help me find her, but it's not without protest. I honestly didn't even know how she was getting out of our fence yard, so I installed cameras and found that she was scaling the female 8 fence. I ended up attaching spinners to the top of the fence thinking that would solve the issue, but it didn't. I brought her out today and was playing with her when my phone rang. I was inside just long enough to grab my phone and my dog had gotten out. I immediately went in search of her, thinking she couldn't have gotten far, but I couldn't find her anywhere, so I went back to the house and asked my fiancé, who was curled up on the sofa, to come help me. She immediately said no. She said she was tired of chasing the dog, that she isn't dealing with it anymore, and that I should have been out there watching her. I explained to her that I had been watching her and simply stepped away for 2 seconds to grab my phone just inside the sliding door, and she had escaped. She again said it wasn't her problem, and she's not exhausting herself anymore to search for my dog. I won't even say it was unexpected because, as I said, in the past, she has always had a problem with helping me search, but she's never said no. She just complained about it. At first, I went and searched for myself. After maybe a half hour, I came back and asked her again to come help me, and she snapped. I said no. I am so tired of chasing that dog around multiple times a week when I'm already exhausted and throwing up constantly. I panicked and unleashed some yelling, which involved me telling her she was a witch who lacked empathy and that I was thoroughly disappointed with my decision to be with someone so heartless. It was out of pure fear and panic on my part, and I did apologize later after I found my dog, but she said go frick yourself and won't talk to me. Am I the idiot? Everyone is on my side except my sister, who says I'm a fucking prick because it's not my pregnant fiancé's responsibility to chase around your freaking mutt, and said she would have left immediately if her BF ever said what I did to her. You're the idiot. Didn't need to read past, my dog runs off at least once a week. You're not a responsible pet owner, and it's not your pregnant fiancé's job to help you with this. I fear for your abilities as a parent. Not the idiot. I love my dogs more than anything and would do anything for them. The fact that she does not respect your loved ones is disgusting and says everything you need to know. And the relationship. Some people just don't get it, and it's not worth trying to explain yourself to them. Am I the idiot for refusing to stop cooking and eating in my kitchen because of my roommate's girlfriend's condition? I feel like this is entirely ridiculous. I live with my roommate, Matt. We used to be pretty close friends, but over the last 2 years of living with him, we drifted apart, and I'm just waiting for our lease to move out on my own. Matt's girlfriend, Sarah, pretty much lives with us, despite not paying rent. I won't lie, she annoys me to no end. She's an entitled airhead who thinks the world revolves around her. Anyway, Sarah has a condition where she gets nauseous at the slightest smell and sight of certain foods. She's an incredibly picky eater, and anything outside of corn dogs or chicken tenders make her nauseous according to her. Unfortunately for her, I like to cook. I love heavily spiced foods and love to cook Asian-style dishes. So, living with a toddler who can't stand the smell really sucks. Sarah has always complained about me cooking smelly foods and has asked me to stop or do it when she's not home. Well, considering she doesn't pay rent and spends 18 hours a day at my home, I have not accommodated her at all. Last night, Sarah and Nat sat me down and told me I need to stop cooking because Sarah cannot stand it anymore. Apparently, she had a mental breakdown last week when I was cooking curry. She claims I am making our apartment a hostile environment by ignoring her concerns. I told both of them to piss off until Sarah starts paying her share of the rent. Matt said that because he lives here his opinion matters as well, and he wants me to stop. I told him no to that as well because he's only doing this because Sarah is being a baby. We ended up having a massive argument, and neither of them is talking to me. Both are staying at Sarah's mom's house right now. I say good riddance, at least I did, until I told the story to my coworkers, and they were all shocked. They say I am being a complete a-hole. This has given me second thoughts on if I was the idiot in the fight we had. Everyone sucks here. You could have been nicer about it. She doesn't like the smells of the stuff you make, so you can make an effort to clean up or open a window. I think your disliking towards Sarah is clouding your judgment and making you see red to whatever she does. It's also important to remember that this is one side of the story with a poop ton of bias. Not the idiot. How could you possibly be the idiot? Your coworkers are assholes. Your roommate and his GIF are definitely assholes. How the frick is someone going to ask you to not cook in your own home? If someone asked me that, I'd tell them to piss off the same way you did, especially considering one of those people isn't even a paying tenant.